So I picked up another tag that I thought I would give a try. I got this one from Driving Me Crazy's YouTube channel, and I told him I was going to do it a couple days ago, and then I didn't. And I decided that since it was his tag, I would go ahead and do this in the car driving. Okay, let's just get right into this. The first question on the tag is, if you found out that a friend or loved one had murdered someone, would you turn them in or would you try to protect them? I'm going to be completely honest. I would turn them in. Don't care who it is. I would turn them in. I think we have gotten to a point in society where people are not valuing life as much as they should. Therefore, because I do value life, yeah, I would turn them in. Just the right thing to do. Okay, so the second question on the tag is, if you had the opportunity to live forever, knowing that everybody that you ever meet or know or love is going to grow old and die, and you will not, would you take that opportunity and live forever? No. The reason being, when you get asked a question like this, everybody thinks that it's going to be all peaches and lovely, and oh, I get to go through life, and I get to, you know, meet all these new people and see how things change, and you know, new societies springing up, and maybe I'll get to meet aliens or whatever the case may be. The fact of the matter is that odds are that whatever you're living as now is how you're going to continue to live. Think of it this way. What do you do for a living? Okay? Do you think in 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, your job is still going to exist? Maybe not your job specifically, but that career line. Do you think it's going to exist? That means that entire time, rather than living it up and going around the world and seeing everything and seeing how the world changes, you're going to be spending your time trying to re-educate, retrain, find new jobs. You're going to spend a lot of time struggling, and life is generally going to suck again and again and again. So no, I wouldn't want to live forever if I had the opportunity. Just wouldn't. No, thank you. I think I'll die a natural death when I'm due to die my natural death. Third question is, if you could erase one bad decision that you made, would you, and what would that decision that you made be? Yes, I would. I would go back and honestly, I would erase my college education. Not that I wouldn't get a college education, but I would go back for something else rather than what I chose to go in for. I would probably go to a different school. I went to a decent school, but it's a college nobody's ever heard of unless you actually live in the area or attended there. So I would probably try to go to a better school, and I would definitely pick a better major so that I might have a better life. But that would probably mean having to go back into high school and grammar school and trying to convince myself to actually enjoy school, which I never did. So I don't know if that would work out for the best or not, to be honest with you. If you had just one wish, what would it be? And what would be the potential downside? Believe it or not, I don't know why, but this is something I've actually thought about in the past. My one wish would be to always have exactly the amount of money that I need for whatever it is that I need to purchase or want to purchase. That is different from wishing that you had several $1 million or wishing that you were wealthy or et cetera, et cetera. If you wish for $2 million, eventually that $2 million is going to be gone. However, if you wish to always have exactly the amount of money in your pocket that you need for something that you need or want, that's a never-ending supply of money all the time. The downside to that would possibly be that you would have way too much stuff and you'd be drowning in your own stuff because stuff. And I don't know. If I could, I'd love to donate a whole bunch of money to charity and always have enough. Like if I wanted to give $1 billion to St. Jude's, I could give $1 billion to St. Jude's. Just pull it out of my pocket or something. You can't pull $1 billion out of your pocket, but you know, I would have that money to give. But in all honesty, if we were able to do that, we'd buy stuff. There'd be lots of stuff. There'd be so much stuff. I'd have to open a store. And the last question is, if you could meet God or a supreme being and ask a question, what would the question be? Out of these 5 questions, this is the toughest one. I gotta think about that for a minute, obviously.
3 hours later.
So I've been sitting here trying to figure out what the question is that I would ask God. It's not that I don't have a question for God, because who the heck wouldn't have a question for God? I mean, come on. But if I could only ask him one, which one would I choose? Okay, here's a good one. Because I think this would solve a whole hell of a lot of problems in the world. And let's face it, it's true. Why haven't, my question to God, why haven't you told us if you exist, and if you do exist, how is it exactly that you prefer that you be worshipped? Rather than having 9 billion different religions, all of which like to go to war with each other and fight over whose God is the better God, why don't you tell us who's right, if anybody's right, and just lay out how you want us to worship? Because then we can end a lot of wars, we can end a lot of strife, and that would be one step closer to actually having world peace. I mean, think about it. I mean, how many wars and how many deaths have occurred throughout history because of religion? You know? So that would be my question to God. If you exist, which if I'm talking to God, obviously he or she exists, how do you want us to worship you? Just tell us how you want us to worship you so that we can all stop trying to kill each other. That's all I've got for this tag, guys. If you like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure you go and check out Driving Me Crazy as well, since I got the tag from him. I am not going to tag anybody in this, so if you feel like doing it, please go ahead and do it and leave me a comment so that I know that you did it, because I do want to check out your video. And I'll see you next time, guys.